My wife left me for a gym guy and turned into a stranger overnight.
Not the gym bro.
We've known each other for 13 years. I met her when she was working at a bar. We got to talking, and I gave her my number before I left. We had our first date 3 days later and became inseparable. We moved in together quickly, always totally compatible and comfortable with each other. By the way, this comes from Benjamism, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Carly.
And I'm Sophia.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We're just gonna guess what we would do in this situation, but let us know what you would do down below. Our morals and core values aligned. Neither of us ever wanted a divorce, especially if we had kids. She comes from a broken home and hates her father for cheating on her mother. When she was pregnant with our first, I finished up work so we could move 1,800 kilometers away. After our son was born, I was working retail when we discussed me studying to change careers. I got accepted into med school, which meant another move. I stopped studying to stay with her and our kid. We got pregnant again while I was back at school and had a healthy baby boy. He was born on the day of my final exam, which I skipped to be with my wife. I completed the next year of study. My wife now says that I was neglecting her and the kids. I always asked her if she was okay, if she needed me to do anything. She never said anything to me, just complained to her friends. I got my myocarditis from the vid vaccine, and when I caught the vid, it messed me up badly. I missed most of a year of study, then a significant spinal injury that took surgery and nearly 2 years of rehab. I still have chronic pain. Through all that sickness and injury, my wife decided to become a fitness instructor, then studied to become a personal trainer. She's been working as a personal trainer for 18 months, got herself fit, and has been working on bodybuilding. I always encouraged her to chase her dreams. She's been away from home for over the last 6 to 9 months, always busy. I became the primary carer for our kids because she leaves before they get up and often isn't home until after dinner time. Over Christmas, she was behaving distant and odd towards not just me, but the kids as well. On January 7th, she sat down and said she was feeling disconnected from me, that we needed to spend more time together. She said she'd been texting a guy from her gym for a couple of weeks and felt bad. Nothing spicy related, nothing had happened. We discussed it as a warning. She agreed to counseling. She cuddled into my arms and we went to sleep. The next day, after further questioning, she admitted it had been spicy related, but nothing physical. She agreed to stop communicating with the guy, but then decided she didn't want to after she'd been to work and talked to a friend. The next day, it came out that it was more like 2 months instead of the 2 weeks that she said, that it was over and she didn't want to do anything to help our relationship. She said she'd be moving out. She went off and slept with the guy the next day when she was meant to be looking after the kids.
Who watched the kids?
Oh my gosh.
Where were the kids? Wait a second.
I'm assuming he had to just like swoop in and help the kids because she wasn't there. When that guy who was in his early 20s, my wife is in her mid 30s and I'm 42, he dumped her a week or 2 later. She decided we should at least do some counseling. We started counseling and agreed to a trial separation. We wouldn't tell the kids. She'd continue to sleep in the spare room. We agreed to no dating or bringing anyone else into the situation. 6 months of trial and counseling for us individually and as a couple. We both started reading self-help books and exchanging them, discussing things that we found applied to us. Things were getting better. We were almost like friends again. She then started acting weird again to me and the kids. She'd been talking to a client when a guy came up and said he had gone through a divorce and could give her advice. He gave her his number. This blew up over Easter because she had been hiding it. She left the home and the kids to go clear her head. She spent 2 hours with this guy. Now this guy is older than me, has a 12-year-old son that he only sees once a fortnight, and has been separated for 7 years. Everything has gone back to crap. I don't trust a word she says. She's become totally unreliable where the kids are concerned. She used to be all about them, her #1 priority. She's now dating this friend and has started a spicy related relationship with him. I'm looking after the kids 80 to 85% of the time. She's rarely at home, and when she is, she puts in minimal effort for them. I had to duck out to the shops, and when I got home, she had given the little one ice cream for dinner. She doesn't care how much pain she has caused. She blames me for not being a safe space for her to open up to. Her memory has become screwed. She forgets things and has done none of the things for the kids that she said she would. My parents are concerned about her. Her personality has totally changed. Her family isn't really aware of what has been happening. All she has is her gym buddies telling her to stay strong. My life is in shambles. The person I believed in and trusted the most has turned her back not just on me, but our kids. I keep it together as best as I can, but I struggle. My parents are nearby, so they can come help. But any advice, and there is an update.
Oh my god.
And we're like a quarter through the story,
Oh my
just about.
God.
Maybe a third, but yeah. That sucks, dude.
That sucks so much.
Glad your family's around.
Yes.
So you get that support. But I don't know, it just...
God. I wouldn't be able to trust her ever again.
Yeah. Update. My wife is finally moving out. The consequences of her actions have started to impact her. My wife is finally moving out. I started gray rocking in response to her, and she hated it. She told me this afternoon that she's found a place and will be moving out next Saturday. She also told me that if I want her to pay her share of the rent, like she's obligated to for 4 weeks after giving the notice, I'll have to take her to court. She told me if I don't sign a custody agreement with her for 50-50, she's going to take them with her anyway. I calmly informed her that as the current primary care for the kids, with about 80 to 85% of the care being directly from me, I would go and get a temporary injunction to stop her. I offered for the current care arrangements to continue, and she can see them on weekends like she currently does. But she won't accept that offer. She says she wants what's best for the kids, but is willing to take them away from their home without consideration, also refusing to let me know where her place will be. I informed my lawyers of the latest development. And we do have a second update.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
I'm over this wife in this story. I'm gonna be
Dude.
honest. She's the worst. I would 100% like potentially look into defining what the custody is more.
Yes.
So that there's like consequences if she takes these
Yeah.
kids. I think there would be either way, but
Sure. But we do have a second update. I'm at a loss for what to do. I'm looking after my physical and mental health now. Been swimming, walking, and joined a gym. I've lost 38 kilograms, which is 83 pounds, since January. I'm doing a diving course and organizing with my university to graduate with a master's degree from my completed studies. I go to counseling fortnightly and see a psychologist on the alternate weekends, mixed in with appointments with physiotherapists and pain specialists for my back issues. I've been organizing my kids' counseling and a child psychologist. The eldest is really struggling and has been defiant to both myself and his mother. He lashes out, ignores others, and won't talk sometimes, even about things that he likes. He's sad and angry, feels left out, and is constantly hopeful that his mom and I will just magically get back together. She just took him from school to her new place and said, "This is my new house. I moved out." I struggle every day I have the kids because I can see the pain and confusion in their eyes. I give them my love, let them know they can ask anything, that I'll support them and take care of them. When they're with the ex, I struggle because I can't make sure that she's actually attending to them. She always has her head buried in her phone or her iPad. The person I used to like talking to the most is now a stranger. The moments at home where the kids are doing their own thing and want their space, I feel lost. I want to reach out and talk to my ex because she was always the person to chat with, to have fun and have a laugh. But nowadays, she can either be friendly when we talk or psychotic. And we do have a third update, the latest new low from soon-to-be ex-wife. Our kids are struggling with their mother moving out, the fact that she continues to not be interested in them during story time, and the fact that she doesn't really engage with them when they're at their new place. This last weekend, my eldest specifically said he didn't want her coming to his karate lesson, and then the younger one said he didn't want to talk to her because he's used to not talking to her now. She used to be a dedicated mother, but not since she got into the gym and bodybuilding. We'd been communicating about the kids, what they'd been doing, how they've been saying they're sick and don't want to go to school or see their friends. Both kids previously loved school. Now she doesn't want to hear about what's happening with the kids because it's, quote, emotional abuse and manipulation from me. Update number 4, more BS from the mind of a cheater. Today we talked on the phone because she was once again choosing to let the kids down while they're both sick. She threw certain things at me, one of which was that a personal alarm I got after she told me a woman had been in danger near her work was, quote, really a listening device to record what she was saying. I asked her to clarify why she thought that. All she would say was someone told her it was, even though I provided her the receipt and where I bought it from. I asked her if she thought it was a listening device, why didn't she take it to the police? She called the police on me when she moved out and took the kids without notice, so she had no answer this time. I asked her who told her it was a listening device. She wouldn't give a name. My guess was that it's her new boyfriend, the person who came onto the scene when we were doing a trial separation where we said we wouldn't be dating. He just wanted to be friends. She's been assuming that an alarm I gave her before I knew she was cheating is a recording device, took the word of some other person, didn't show it to the police, yet just the other day suggested the kids, her and I, go on a camping trip for Christmas together.
She is, something is
Something's
actually wrong that is affecting this.
This is so far past just like,
yeah, at first I was like, cheater, you kind of stink a little. Now I'm like, I'm worried about you.
I'm truly
actually
worried. Right. I contacted my solicitor about it. They want her to make an official statement about who told her it was a recording device and will explore legal options for slander. Update number 5 was this manipulation. On Saturday evening, when the kids were with me, the eldest, who is 9, messaged his mother asking if she could bring some donuts. She messaged him saying, yes, of course, and that she'll message me. She sends me a message saying, eldest asked for donuts, I'll bring them around, and we can do story time together as a family, then we won't have to do it later. I just started putting the kids' dinner together, so I messaged back saying that would be great, but it's dinner time soon, maybe come around in about 90 minutes. Family story time has always been a highlight. The kids constantly express that they don't like us being in separate houses. Her reply is, I can't, I'm going out. This immediately irritates me because to me, it says this wasn't a gesture for the kids. It was so she didn't have to commit to story time later. She's skipped out on multiple story times because of going out. I tell her as much, and she says she can just drop the donuts off and leave. I tell her that that doesn't change that it's dinner time, so come over either in 90 minutes or in 2.5 hours at the normal story time. She then messages the eldest to say she can't bring the donuts because I won't let her. What? Oh my gosh. This is crazy. So it seems like, they're separated, not totally divorced, still working with like lawyers and stuff along the separation process.
Yeah.
And they're having like some family time here and there.
Right.
But she dips a lot.
Yeah.
I have to tell the kids that I told their mother that she could come over after dinner, but those times weren't okay for her as she was going out. She skips story time and only calls briefly after it to say goodnight to the kids from the pub with loud music in the background. She told the eldest that she'd bring the donuts around without first checking with me. She knew she was going out already, but hadn't told me or the kids and was using the carrot of doing stories like we used to enable her to not commit to story time. I have always wanted her to be independent and always supported her to pursue her goals through her working, wanting to be a stay-at-home mother, to her studying, her pursuit of new jobs and hobbies. I never once asked her not to do something until I asked her to stop cheating. Then, when she said she was moving out, I wouldn't let her leave the house alone with the kids because I didn't trust her not to take off with them. Yeah, makes sense. She said she would.
She literally told you she would.
Said she would.
It's perfectly valid.
She said she'd never do that and then did it. In update number 6. I have mostly gotten past my anger. Now I move between sadness and pity for my WW. We had been doing 50-50, but split up in a weird way to work around her work hours. Last weekend, she introduced our kids to her new boyfriend, the affair partner. She had told him it was to be a short introduction and then him leaving. I was very against it and told her we should be consulting with our eldest psychologist. He has ADHD, is on the spectrum, and is really struggling. She ignored my request, and instead of enforcing the boundary she set, he brought his older kid, hung out with my wife and kids, and tagged along with them for the walk they planned. So not only are they meeting the affair partner, but also his kids too, and they're hanging out.
Oh, and
he's only 9. This is so confusing for this child.
Why are we doing this to this kid?
My goodness.
Why are we doing any of this?
Yeah. Our eldest is devastated. She's lied to him so many times. I get left to be the honest and stable one, so he's now not wanting to trust his mother, thinks she doesn't love him, and never wants to see the affair partner again. I enforced week to week as being the way 50-50 will go from now on, mainly so I could keep the kids with me all this week and ensure the eldest is all right. When he got to see his psychologist this week, they told us, stick to routines, make him know he's a priority, don't go introducing new people into his world for a long while. He needs to know he's loved, reassure him, give him stability.
And then we're immediately introducing new people into his life.
Yeah. The wayward wife sent him a message each day for the next 2 days, then nothing. Today, she canceled our FaceTime story time so she can go to the movies, saying she can't control the movie times. My eldest asked me if I was going to bring someone into our home. I told him that I have no interest in trying to do that. I am focused on him and his brother. making sure they know they're loved and safe in our home. He knows that if a fair partner is around him, he can message me and I'll come collect him. He's old enough to decide who he wants to be around. And we do have another update.
This is the
one's
last
OP,
update.
you're so great, but these
This
updates
one's laughable.
are killing
This
me.
is the last update.
I know.
Thank God.
Reddit's honestly like, it's seemingly all he has at this point. So
And
he's
fair, she sucks,
Yeah.
but
On to the laughable update. A couple of weeks ago, after soon-to-be ex-wife introduced our kids to a fair partner/boyfriend, I enforced a change to our 50-50 arrangement to be week to week, which the psychologist had advised, instead of multiple changes a week to suit her requirements. This coming weekend is Father's Day on Sunday, but I had won some tickets for an event to take the kids on Saturday. This weekend is her weekend. We had discussed it a month ago after I had won the tickets. She'd said that the kids would love it and agreed to them going with me. So the kids were told. They're both very excited. Last night at the kids' karate lessons, she told me that I couldn't take them now because it was her weekend and she was just sticking to the new system. When asked why she wanted to let me take the kids to an event we had already told them about, she said she didn't know. I told her if she wants to spite me, don't take something away from the kids. She declared that it wasn't about spite. After getting advice from a third party, she came up and said she knows what she wants, and she wants to let me take the kids. She's previously suggested that we go somewhere as a family for Christmas. Now she realizes that Christmas falls on my week to have the kids, so she wants a written and signed declaration that I'll share the custody of the kids on the week of Christmas. If I do that, she'll let me take the kids to the event. And by the way, I'll always let you listen to full episodes of stories just like this one. Just go to Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is, and search OK Storytime. There is a little bit more to the story, but this is so exhausting.
7 updates in and I've lost the plot. Like, I know exactly what's going on, but
Yeah. It's just,
this is tiring.
he's
I'm
just here to
so
rant
sorry for you,
at this
OP.
point. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I feel bad for the kids more than anything.
And she's just like really overthinking this new schedule. Like totally.
Yeah.
Like I'm guessing that the month ago where they agreed to go to this like Father's Day thing, that was before this new like weekly schedule. And now that they have like assigned weekends and just weeks, she's like, wait, but like I'm not gonna get Christmas. You have to agree to this so that I
Right.
can get Christmas.
It's like you guys had a whole thing worked out for a reason, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like I don't think we need to set up this like
Written
transactional
stuff.
thing. Yeah. You don't need to
Because
make
who
a
even knows
contract
where
about
you're
this.
gonna be at that point on Christmas, girl? You run off every like 5 weeks. I feel
Exactly.
like.
And this is like we're talking about Father's Day right now. That's 6 months ahead.
out.
She looked at a calendar and
She
went
went all the way
like
down.
eeny meeny miny mo.
Which one am I gonna cause a problem on?
Yeah.
Christmas.
Oh my gosh. There is a little bit more to the story.
Great.
I never would have kept the kids from seeing her on Christmas. I agree. Write a declaration on my computer, print it out and sign it, and send her a copy. She then responds with yes, you can take them. Details of when she'll drop them off and pick them up, with the notion of this is ridiculous and both sides need to do better. She coerced me into signing a declaration so the kids don't miss out on an event. The declaration is immediately unenforceable because it was signed under duress, coerced by her threat to withhold the kids from an event they knew I was taking them to. I'm so sick of her crap, and that's all we get. Wait, can we see if there's another update for this
Oh my
one?
god.
Really want another
Oh my
I just
God.
really want, like,
There better not be
I'm
another one.
so was hoping that one of these updates are like, yeah, I have
it's
full
deleted.
custody of the kids.
My wife cheated and begged to see her affair partner, so I told her to leave.
Yeah, go find your affair partner.
My wife and I have been married 8 years, together a few years longer in total, and have 2 small kids. This year has been tough, but we have had our arguments, but nothing that I would ever think would push my wife to cheat. By the way, this comes from Apprehensive Cost 496. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
And I'm Angie.
And I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. Anyways, I noticed her lately being distant and uncommunicative and decided to confront her one evening. At that time, she said she was not happy and couldn't feel a spark anymore. At first, I freaked out on myself, thinking I was being a non-attentive husband, truthfully an issue. However, the next day, I caught a very strange message on her phone that was extremely lovey-dovey. I took a look, and then found my wife was messaging a man for a long time with lots of I love yous and plans for a future together.
Oh my goodness.
I contacted a couple of lawyers for advice and got my head on straight and calm. I confronted my wife a couple days ago calmly and asked if she was having an affair, and after a couple minutes, she admitted everything. It's been going on for 6 months, and she claims it's the deepest emotional connection ever. Complete BS, but whatever. To end it all, I gave my list of boundaries: cut off contact, marriage counseling, etc. The thing I think was the final nail was that she got extremely aggravated about cutting off contact, especially when I told her to do it in front of me. She even insisted on seeing him one last time for closure. I held my ground and told her if he was so important, pack a bag and go live with him. She backed off, but not before calling me a controlling a-hole. She sent a text this morning and showed me, but my spidey senses tell me she'll try a different means of communication. I'm thinking there's no hope, and I honestly don't want it at this point. But I just wanted to be able to tell my kids in 20 years that at least I tried. We have marriage counseling tomorrow, but I'm thinking it's time to file before wasting any more time or grief. I'm cautious about moving too fast because of my kids, but is this the right way to do it? We have an update. But
interesting. I mean, I don't see much problem in it, I'm not gonna lie.
Update. The past few weeks have sucked, but they've given me time for a lot of soul searching. As an update, my wife and I did attend some counseling after the initial confrontation. This particular counselor has been very good about listening to both of us without assigning blame and helping us navigate our new reality. She's also helped uncover some structural issues in our relationship. While that doesn't at all excuse my wife's behavior, it's helpful at least knowing for a future relationship and not repeating the same mistakes. As I've mentioned before, my wife's initial reaction to my boundary about cutting off contact with the affair partner appeared to go unheeded. I did catch some small messages between them before she completely went dark with her chat logs and phone. After seeing that, I decided to file. She was served a few days ago. In parallel, I decided to have a heart-to-heart with my father-in-law since we're super close. I needed to prioritize support for our kids versus our relationship, as I could see my wife wanted to sweep this under the rug. I think if you realize that she's going right back to where she was with everything, you did give it a try and you can stop now.
Totally. Yeah, I think you could say that you tried now.
You did try.
Yeah, she didn't.
Quite literally. She went right back to him.
Yeah, exactly.
Needless to say, my wife was initially extremely upset. Her fantasy was blown up. Our therapist talked it through with her from my point of view on why this needed to happen, and I think she's starting to realize the consequences of her actions and see that there are real things that are going to be lost. From here on out, I'm just trying to process the new life ahead and the huge change in my identity from a husband and father to something else. Same with her. Since I filed, my wife was immediately shocked when I dropped that on her. She's been very emotional these past few days. I honestly think she thought I would never be able to walk away. I've kept her at arm's length, but I have seen a distinct change in her. On a positive note, we've talked more, kept our conversation civil, and focused on our shared priorities, mostly the children. I've made it very clear to her that she left a huge wound on me and that she has to do the heavy lifting to help repair and give me space and time if I can ever begin to forgive. I'll say it again, her actions are the most selfish, self-centered, horrible thing you could do to a person. But I have not lost sight that we still need to raise our children, and that is now my focus point as I navigate how I will move to the next phase of my personal unhappiness. We have another update.
Gray Rocket, again!
I was waiting for you to see.
Well, it was like
it's back!
I feel like I've heard that term just in general before, but I've never seen it in these stories except for this
It's
whole
haunting
24
you.
hours.
The
It's
24
just
hours
weird.
of gray rocking.
Yes.
Purple rocking.
Like, is this just like a
Turtle
becoming a
rocking.
popular term now, or like what is this?
Oh.
But
Do you have any thoughts?
yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting. How do we think he's going about it now that his wife is like seeing change? Is it just kind of like he's observing
just like,
it?
we're just gonna focus on
Yeah,
kids, co-parenting.
that's the way to do it, I feel.
Update 2, gray rocking during divorce proceedings.
Oh my
I'm gray rocking during divorce proceedings for now, since I want to spend as much time with my children as possible. I'm in a separate room too, which has helped me begin to get that distance. I've implemented gray rock with my soon-to-be ex-wife. I generally try not to be interested in any discussion, but have to fake it a little, especially with the kids around. They're still small, but they try to be upbeat as they can sense a lot. I'm also not making myself available in the evening anymore. I'm going out with friends, working out, whatever. It's a delicate balance. I want as much bonding time with my kids and have sucked it up for family dinners and whatnot. Update 3. How did you deal with your kids after infidelity? I have 2 little ones under 5 years old. So far, they don't know what's happening, and my soon-to-be ex and I are acting amicable and doing activities with them. Mostly separate, but once in a while together, and trying to keep them on their normal routine. Despite my anger and frustration at the selfishness of my soon-to-be ex, we've both acted in a way to not impact them. So far, she hasn't abandoned or treated them badly by any means, but I do spend more time playing with them, and I see her spending more time on her phone than interacting with them. We also agreed on no bad-mouthing or negative talk in front of them. So far, it's going good. The only wild card is when we're separated and the affair partner decides to enter the picture officially, but I'll just deal with that when it comes. Update 4. My soon-to-be ex has expressed wanting to be friends, but I haven't entertained this. I expressed clearly that I can't offer friendship to someone who has betrayed me so badly. I'm still in the divorce process and not thinking of dating or anything at the moment. I did get the jump after filing and told some of the in-laws, my family, and some friends, but I didn't broadcast too widely, as I want to keep some things quiet. That being said, I know my soon-to-be ex likely threw down her side, and I'm getting some cold vibes from a lot of her family and some other folks. I know blood is thicker than water, but it sucks when your close family turns their back, despite you being a good dad and husband, and the wife being an immoral turd. The past few months have been frosty but relatively drama-free, as my soon-to-be ex and I separated our lives in the house, but still did things for our children. The discovery and mediation process proceeded pretty quickly. We agreed on 50-50 custody for our kids, along with schedules and holidays. Since it's a no-fault state, asset division was by the book, with some give and take. I'll be finding a place soon for a fresh start. The final conclusion is on the horizon, but for the most part, the divorce is complete.
But I'm glad they're actually taking action. That's honestly a relief from the last story.
And it seems pretty chill. Like, I'm like, I don't have anything to say because it's going smooth.
Figuring it out.
Yeah.
You're just telling us your story.
Update 6. I was recently informed that my cheating soon-to-be ex had also cheated on her previous fiance with a married man a couple years before we met.
Now you find out?
The affair partner unfortunately passed away. Just goes to show the empty hole in a cheater never gets filled. But you can always have your fill of episodes with stories just like this one. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime.
Great job.
Great job.
Seems like you guys have a weird dynamic, but also, I mean, it seems like that's what's working.
Yeah.
You know?
Update 7. It still hurt to have to type this out and say goodbye to the life I thought I was going to have, but I have accepted change is necessary and full speed ahead. As of today, the official decree went out and I'm no longer married. I also picked up the keys to my new house and will start the process to move as soon as possible. I chose to take a buyout as I felt it was best to start fresh in a place of my own to make new memories, and I got really lucky. I found a nicely kept up house barely a minute away from my current home. I wanted to be close to my kids because they need to know their dad is close by for when they need me.
Aw, we actually get an ending for this
An
one.
actual ending.